Welcome to the CrossYoga Slow class. My name is Ria, and I'm the host of this channel. And I hope you feel like you can just turn on the video and be yourself, be safe, and practice your yoga with me without having a feeling of you need to show off or do something specifically to be good enough. So unroll your mats and then find a seated posture. However you can sit is great, so you don't have to put your legs in a specific pose. A tall spine, though, is a great thing to strengthen your core. I know it's hard to sit here for a long time, and we won't be sitting here for that long. But if you feel any tension in your legs, in your back, you're always welcome to just, move a little bit, maybe stretch out your legs and find another position. You don't have to suffer your way through this simple seated posture. All right, close your eyes. Zoom in on your breath and your body. So what do you need today? What do you need right now? If you had some ideas, I'd recommend you to surrender what you need to God right now. Maybe exhaling it out. Remind yourself that God knows everything you need. And if you want to say a prayer, maybe out loud, by yourself, or just inside your heart, a wish, if you're not used to praying, a wish can be, I would say, a prayer. Do that. If you're done, you can move your head or your neck actually. Maybe from one shoulder to your chin towards your chest, and then roll up to the other shoulder and move your neck a little bit. The theme and the passage that I'll read will be after a little bit of warming up. And it is a passage that a lot of people know. It's often spoken out or read out loud at weddings. All right, let's twist a little bit. You can move your shoulders to your right side and twist, maybe do a dynamic twist. So even though you're twisting, you're moving just a little bit in this direction. Moving your whole shoulder part there to the other side. And again, dynamic twisting without overdoing anything. A few seated cat-cows, always a great way to get movement into the spine, especially if you have been sitting a lot. Remember that the part you feel move the most is maybe the middle part of the spine. But try to get this posture down also in your lower part of the spine, in the top here, almost up towards your neck. Try to focus all the way. So you might move quite a bit on your sitting bones. I do. I'm really holding firmly on my knees here, not to roll back if I'm going to go down into my the root there, the bottom part of my spine. All right, next time you come back to a seated posture, move your wrists. If you prefer giving them a little bit of a stretch, that's an option as well, fingers down. Otherwise, movements are really great. Even just doing this with your fingers, one of my new favorite poses, gets just so well into your whole arm. You can feel how, so I'm just getting a little bit nerdy here, you can feel how your fingers are attached to this part of your arm as you kind of squeeze out with the star pose here and then do a fist. Yeah, downward facing dog. So make your way up into down dog, and maybe now it feels really good to get some blood into those legs. So move your legs. And as we're here on the mats, the question I ask, what do you need today? If it's, I just need some rest and some peace, maybe this will be your intention for the class today, that you will do the postures a little bit more easy, to respect what you need and to love yourself. All right, walk your feet to the top end of the mat and fold forward, hip width distance in between the feet. So especially if it was kind of, I want to relax, and then maybe the next 3 sun salutations, you'll do very slowly or just stay in down dog or whatever. If you're up for it, reach your arms up and above your head. This will be a variation, which means we'll lean back, opening up our chest. And stretch your spine, palms reach up, and then fold forward. Soften your knees as you get all the way down. Half lift. And then find plank to low plank. So you might step it to the back, taking our time the first time through. Maybe on your knees, shoulders just a little bit above or in front of your fingertips as you lower your chest down, elbows by your ribs. Lift up in baby cobra. Take shoulders away from the ears. Tuck your toes under into down dog. And just adjust your stance, still hip width distance in between the feet. That's a very typical way of standing. All right, let's do it with a breath. So you inhale, coming to the front of the mat. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, high mountain. Remember the back bend. Exhale, open up. Inhaling, reaching high. Exhaling, folding forward. Half lift, inhale. Plank to low plank. Long exhale. Cobra or up dog. Up dog is hip off the mat. Exhaling, down dog. Take one breath. Then to the front, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Use your core, use your leg as you rise up, inhaling last time through. Folding forward. Half lift. Plank to low plank, long exhale. Cobra up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. One breath. And then soften your knees, child's pose. Get some distance in between the knees. It's just nice to have space for everything. So So I'll read from 1 Corinthians as you are in child's pose. And maybe you feel like you listen better if you actually turn your palms up. You can do that if you like. For now we see but faint reflections of riddles and mysteries, as though reflected in a mirror. But one day we will see face to face. My understanding is incomplete now, but one day I will understand everything. Just as everything about me has been fully understood. Until then, there are 3 things that remain: faith, hope, and love. Yet love surpasses them all. So above all else, let love be the beautiful prize for which you run. So maybe we feel right now that our lives are a little bit of a riddle, a little bit like looking into a mirror. But one day we'll see face to face. Lifting up and down dog. Maybe you want to bend your knees a little bit. The most important thing is a stretched or a straight spine here, so you don't round the back to be able to actually get your feet down or your heels down. Staying in down dog for a few breaths. If it doesn't work, just go for tabletop. Breathe deeply. Next inhale, you move to the top end of the mat. Folding forward. And then rising vertebrae by vertebrae into high mountain or just mountain pose. Let's play a little bit with our arms to get a stretch in front of the shoulders. So fold your hands behind you. Make sure you bend your elbows. Now, I invited you to bring straps. So these are actually really, really great here. So if you love folding your hands, do that. But actually, I also love using these. So I turn my pinky finger in towards each other. No hyperextending the elbows. Soften your knees and then fold forward with your arms moving above your head or down towards the ground here. I will be staying here for a little bit. Let gravity do its work. All right, bending the knees, letting the strap go here behind you. Coming up, you can just let your strap go for a bit. Step right leg back and turn the back foot around. Warrior 2, align the heels. Bending the front knee, and as always in Warrior 2, reaching your arms out. And as I said before, maybe you soften here. Maybe you just always used to go for the full capacity of everything. Maybe now is your time to go a little bit easier. Maybe it's my time as well. So I'll just soften this a little bit. Soften your elbows. Let the in-breath or the inhale really reach down towards the navel and up again. And we'll reverse our warriors to the backhand here. Not just down by a thigh, but actually behind your back here. Maybe you can see my fingers here waving at you. So if you can reach down there to the other side of the thigh, we'll try to see if that works for you. And then lean back. Again, this arm doesn't have to be stretched out. You can definitely just fold it, looking down, stacking the shoulders as much as possible. Bending down into the front knee. Releasing, letting go, triangle pose. So extend the front leg, move the hip a little bit back. Maybe you take this back hip just a tiny bit to the front. Let the front hand lean down on the outer edge of your shin. And then forward you go. If the balance is a little bit difficult, just look down. One last breath. And you soften the stance. Turn the back heel off the mat, step back, down dog. Deep inhales and exhales. Let your navel drop a little bit lower towards the mat. Notice if you're squeezing your upper part of the shoulders towards your ears. If you are, move them a little bit away, engaging the back of the shoulder blades, the scapula, to do this. And then child's pose. As you are in child's pose, I'll read the passage again. And ever so often when we read a text, at least in churches when we hear a sermon, we are asked somehow to understand it. And that is great. But somehow the Bible is more than just, understand it with our brain. So right now, as I read it, just notice what it makes you feel. There's nothing that's right or wrong. You might be happy, you might be sad, I don't know. But just notice what you feel. For now, we see but a faint reflections of riddles and mysteries, as through reflected in a mirror. But one day, we will see face to face. My understanding is incomplete now. But one day I will understand everything. Just as everything about me has been fully understood. Until then, there are three things that remain: faith, hope, and love. yet love surpasses them all. So above all else, let love be the beautiful prize for which you run. So whatever you feel is okay. Maybe the things you want to say thank you for, or you want to surrender or pray for. Coming into down dog again. If you need more time on the mat, you can always pause the video and just stay with what you experience or what you feel you need to stay with. Moving into Warrior 2 again. So this time take your right leg to the top end of the mat. We'll just go into it from the back of the mat. Turn the back foot around, align it with the short end of the mat, lift up, and as I mentioned before, you might not go all the way down. Maybe you want to ease it up a little bit today. But our shoulders, our hips, still stacked, aligned with the long end of the mat. And our gaze, focusing at the front. The harder it is to stay here, the more I encourage you to focus on breathing. And as before, take the back hand here, wrap it around the back of your spine to the front thigh, if you're lucky to be able to reach there. Top palm reaching up and lean back into humble warrior, reversed warrior. What spoke to me in that verse, just as I read it now, second time, was the thing that there's so many things I don't understand. But one day I will understand. Reaching forward, triangle pose. It can be things that is just hard. In personal lives, or in my case, it can be sometimes hard for me to understand why God doesn't move faster with what's going on in CrossYoga, and I don't understand it. But I must trust that God knows what He's doing, and one day I'll understand why things are not moving faster. So it becomes a prayer for me to lean into to having faith in that. All right, let go of the triangle pose and then step it to the top end of the mat. We're going to do a balance pose, and after this, stretching a little bit more. So if you have a really short strap, this might not work for you, and you just have to do a dancer pose without a strap. So that would just be taking your hands behind you and holding the arch of the foot. Now, if you have a pretty long strap, step with your right leg on it, and then with your right hand, kind of pull your leg behind you and lift it up. Already right here, we have an element of balance. So I take my arms up here. So any version of dancer pose is awesome. I just like to, play a little bit with it. So I kind of reach my foot into the strap and lean forward, gaze on the ground. So it's a somewhat powerful back bend. So find a version of this that works for you. Remember, there is nothing perfect here. And letting go. And we'll just go directly into the other side. If you need a forward fold to kind of release any tension from the back bend, you know that you can do it. All right, left leg, I take it behind me, bend my knees first, so know what's going on. Then slowly leaning forward, and of course the shorter the strap, the more I'll probably get a back bend. Not trying to go for my most elegant or my deepest dancer today. Just want to encourage us all to listen in, and today I need to be mindful and careful of my body. Two more breaths. And see if you can come out of it somewhat slow. And then down on the floor. Take your strap with you. So this was back bending. Let's forward fold. Plow pose is great. If you know it, go ahead and do it. I'll do a seated version today. So hip width distance in between my feet. Let my navel reach forward first, holding whatever I can reach. And actually, if the feet are really far away, you can always take the strap and maybe you didn't gather your feet and then pull yourself a little bit down. Sit up tall and then come back on your spine. We'll do two stretches. First the hamstring and then the spinal twist. So again, right foot on the strap. The left leg, you can either stay bended or half bended or just stretch it out. But first, I would encourage you to take a hold of the strap in both hands and just pull this leg in. And when you feel a stretch on your hamstrings and your calves, and you feel like, okay, I can relax and I can do this, then you might stretch the other leg. So taking it step by step. The body is always adjusting to the different postures, and some nerves and fibers in the body adjust quickly, but some takes a moment. Some even minutes. And as you hold your strap and the foot up, and here I want you to elongate your leg a little bit. Let the left hand hold the strap and then cross it over so you come onto your side. Now I might move a little bit into my mat, otherwise I'll get completely off my foot on the, well, okay, that works as well. Okay, so you just rest your foot on the floor. Pull it in, the other hand that's free, maybe it reaches the floor behind you, maybe not. the further you pull your toes towards your nose without rounding the back a whole lot, the more you'll deepen the stretch also in your hips and the back here, the side of the hip. Letting go, coming back to center. On the spine, if it was a really deep stretch, you might take a rest on the back before you're going to the next stretch here. So first the hamstring stretch. As we did before, one step at a time. First, finding the stretch in the back of this left leg, and then maybe you extend the other leg somewhat out. Notice if there's anything in this left leg that you're holding that is tightened up somehow. Might be your toes, your thighs. Is there anything you can relax a little bit more? Maybe you can squeeze it a little bit to make it relax. And then let's cross. So left leg, right hand, and then move that leg over yourself onto the floor. So coming so much onto the side that your foot can actually reach the floor. That's the idea, right? And then it doesn't matter as much if this hand, opposite arm, can reach down. I think I've mentioned this a few times before, but I just love the fact that the Bible speaks so much of love. I don't find the term love and love your neighbor and love God as much in the yoga history. There are lots of stories, and of course all of them somehow involve love to brothers or mother and father or wife or husband and something like that. But love in general, like it, that we're encouraged to love like this, I think is more explicit in the biblical narrative. And I just love that. Releasing. I will read the passage one last time as you rest on the mat. So as you know, resting pose. Stretch your legs out. Maybe you want to take your hands above your head today. Open up. Or if this passage just really speaks to you, it's nice just to touch the heart with your hands and kind of hold it as a symbolic posture of, let this stay in my heart. So stay there, close your eyes. Slow your breath down really deeply. For now we see but a faint reflection of riddles and mysteries, as through reflected in a mirror. But one day we will see face to face. My understanding is incomplete now. But one day, I will understand everything. Just as everything about me has been fully understood. I just have to say, just notice that, like the present tense and the past tense, that one day I will understand. But then it says, like everything has been fully understood. I'm already understood. I'm already seen. Even though I don't. Somebody else, God, fully understands me. That's beautiful. Until then, there are three things that remain. Faith, hope, and love. Yet love surpasses them all. So above all else, let love be the beautiful prize for which you run. God, I pray that love will be the beautiful prize for which we run. Amen. Please stay on the mat if you like. From my heart to your heart, blessings on your path.